This is a place for independent living.
I'm an artist, so I figured I have a chance. I don't have to cook no more.
It's a different way of living, but it is a good way of living. It's a home.
Call today.
Coming up on this edition of Reel to Reel.
I have John Bosco with me, and he is the youngest guy here at the men's conference. I'm Carolee McGrath. I'll have the story coming up.
Kathy Harrington brings us a progress report on the Divine Mercy International Widows and Orphans organization, founded by a Northampton priest.
The inspiration of God in our lives is the theme of an art exhibit here at St. Stanislaus Basilica. I'll show you all the amazing artwork on display.
These stories and more are just ahead on Reel to Reel. Hello and welcome to Reel to Reel. Last Thursday, Pope Leo XIV released his first apostolic exhortation, focusing his attention on the poor. Pope Leo urged Christians to reread the gospel, saying they have forgotten that faith and love for the poor go hand in hand. Pope Leo XIV said in his first major papal document, quote, "Love for the poor, whatever the form their poverty may take, is the evangelical hallmark of a church faithful to the heart of God." The papal document, Dilexi Te, I Have Loved You, was signed by the Pope October 4th on the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. The Vatican released the text October 9th. The document was begun by Pope Francis, Pope Leo said, but he added to it and wanted to issue it near the beginning of his papacy, saying, "Since I share the desire of my beloved predecessor that all Christians come to appreciate the close connection between Christ's love and his summons to care for the poor." And we will have much more on this next week. Closer to home, Catholic men from throughout Western Massachusetts and beyond gather for a day of inspiring talks, Eucharistic adoration, prayer, and fellowship at the 2025 Men's Conference. Carolee McGrath has more now on how this day-long event was a day to celebrate being Catholic.
In Luke 17:11, Jesus came upon 10 lepers. They recognized Jesus and they asked him to heal them. He told them to go see the priests. On the way to see the priests, one of them, a Samaritan, realized he'd been healed and went running back to give praise and thanks and glory to Jesus. Jesus said to him to attend to you, where were the other 9? Because of that passage in the gospel, I promise to give witness to the healing power of Jesus Christ.
And what a witness it was at the Diocesan Men's Conference October 4th. Artie Boyle, the author of 6 Months to Live, spoke on his miraculous healing from cancer after visiting the shrine of Medjugorje in Croatia. The hockey dad of 13 is from Hingham. His son Brian Boyle played in the NHL for the New York Rangers, the Tampa Bay Lightning, and the LA Kings. Boyle was the first speaker for the day. He's been sharing his story far and wide for more than 20 years.
What I've seen God do is just, it's only God.
And you're just a regular guy from Hingham, a regular hockey dad who is Catholic, but not that Catholic.
Regular hockey dad, golfer. Don't forget that. Yeah, just a regular guy. That does regular things. But I was lucky enough to be the beneficiary of what I consider a miracle. I was supposed to be dead at 44 years old, and I'm still here at 70. So God has been good. Yeah.
Close to 200 men attended the conference, which had a theme of called. The conference returned during the Jubilee Year of Hope after a long hiatus. Joe Austin, the director of the Office of Missionary Discipleship, organized the event.
I really think it's about men finding fraternity and seeing that there are other guys just like them all over the place, coming together, talking about God, talking about Jesus, learning more about their faith, having encounters with the faith, but especially growing in that fellowship, that fraternity, and really that brotherhood.
This is Bible verses, fill in the blank, or finish the phrase.
Sam Tadzia of Red Barn Ministries was the master of ceremonies. The father of 7 was there with his wife Kristen and their youngest, 8-month-old John Bosco. How would you encourage other young guys out there?
Stay faithful. God is calling you to this moment and to your specific vocation. And so embrace that.
Sister Dee Dee Byrne, the sister of Bishop Byrne, also spoke. Sister Dee Dee is the superior of her order, Little Workers of the Sacred Hearts of Jesus and Mary in Washington, D.C. She retired with the rank of colonel in the U.S. Army and is double board certified as a surgeon. She told the men they have to be spiritual leaders in their families and spoke of her own father.
It made my father a great role model for fatherhood, and for the rest of my siblings is how, like St. Joseph, he took the spiritual lead in our home. He lived his life with fidelity toward his wife, his children, and his Lord.
Every day I pray I will see him face to face.
Father Justin Bolger, a Dominican friar of the province of St. Joseph, played and sang at the conference. He was ordained in 2020 and is the chaplain of Brown University and Rhode Island School of Design. He is also a member of the Hillbilly Thomas, a band of friars who play country and bluegrass.
If you put God first, other things fall into place in your life. Jesus Christ is our leader, so we must follow the leader. All right, but then when you do, other things will fall into place. But if you follow other things first and then put Jesus somewhere else in your life, things get kind of out of whack, and life is harder.
Dr. Peter Kreeft, a Catholic philosopher, author, and professor at Boston College, spoke on suffering.
God is not the author of sin. We are. But suffering is much harder to explain, and it's the most popular argument for atheism.
Father David, who's the chaplain of the men's conference, said that what happens here can't stay here. He's encouraging all of the guys to take the graces that they've received and bring them back to their families and their parishes.
We've got to go to this thing and then bring it out. The point for any big conference is, in order to evangelize, we need to do big conferences and do smaller group sessions. And so when you have a big conference, hopefully you receive some sort of a grace, and the hope is for these men to go back to their families and go back to their parishes and take the grace that they receive here and bring that change and that grace back into their communities.
The day included Eucharistic adoration and a procession and Mass celebrated by Bishop Byrne.
I think that this men's conference is going to be a real blessing to our diocese, to bring men together, to help them, affirm them in their faith and friendship, not just with each other, but with God. It only grows. It'll make them better fathers, better sons, better husbands, and build up our church in a way by being good, strong men.
Together, men renewed in their faith readied themselves for the mission that God is calling them to. Reporting for Real to Real, I'm Carol Lee McGrath.
And the Catholic Women's Conference is just around the corner. Bishop William Byrne invites all women from across Western Massachusetts and beyond to attend the 2025 Diocesan Women's Conference on Saturday, November 15th from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. at Bellamy Middle School in Chicopee. This special Jubilee Year event will feature talks by Mary Lenneberg, Sister Maristella, and Father James Brent with music by Psalm 33. The day includes lunch, adoration, confession, and a closing Eucharistic procession and Mass with the Bishop. For more information, we have a link for you at diospringfield.org. And still to come on Real to Real, Dan Dumas will be by with news briefs from across Western Massachusetts. And Kathy Harrington reports on a Northampton priest's nonprofit work that widens the world for children in his home country. It's all still ahead on Real to Real.
Like Catholic TV on Facebook. Once you're there, you can join in on discussions, make friends with other Catholic TV fans, watch behind-the-scenes videos from the studio,
Just finished this
Scene 1, Scene 2, and stay up to date with the Catholic world. All this at facebook.com/CatholicTV.
I'm Dan Dumas with your Reel to Reel News Briefs. The fall has been busy for parish activities and get-togethers. Several parishes held parish picnics recently as a way to celebrate the faith outside of a church setting.
Next we'll have Billy Egan and his group.
On a Sunday in September, the parish community of St. Elizabeth's in Ludlow gathered for a picnic and an opportunity for fellowship. Due to the rain, the planned lawn party was moved inside the parish center, but that didn't damper the spirit of the event. Monsignor Homer Goslin says these types of events are really critical for parish life.
These picnics and socials are so important to build up the spirit of the parish, because we see each other in church, and some socialize a little bit after, but it's good. I think it's good for the parish and for the community to spend some time with each other, quality time, and to have some great entertainment.
People enjoyed hamburgers and hot dogs while listening to some great music by the Ludlow Community Band, followed by the Billy Egan Band. Richard Landry is the chairman of the parish council.
The goal of this event is really to bring the people together. Again, ever since COVID, there hasn't really been an opportunity for people to come out and do something together. So we felt this is really the best way for people to come together, socialize, have a nice meal, have a nice afternoon together, listen to some entertainment.
St. Elizabeth Parish hosts other events to evangelize and encourage fellowship, including a spaghetti dinner the second Tuesday of every month. In other news, St. Mary's Parish School in Westfield has a new oratory. Blessed by Springfield Bishop William Byrne, the oratory is named after a newly canonized saint who sets a great example for young people. Carolee McGrath has more.
On the feast of St. Therese of Lisieux, Bishop Byrne celebrated Mass for the students at St. Mary's Parish School in Westfield. And right after, he headed over to the third floor of the school to bless a new sacred space dedicated to St. Carlo Acutis, the newly canonized millennial saint.
Today was a great day. Through the generosity of parishioners, the school was able to add this oratory, a place of prayer.
School grandparents Tom and Marge Jekyll donated a new statue of St. Carlo and helped with the expense of renovating the old computer room into a place of prayer. St. Carlo Acutis was computer savvy and a tech genius. He launched a website documenting Eucharistic miracles around the world. Pope Leo XIV canonized St. Carlo Acutis on September 7th alongside St. Pier Giorgio Frassati. St. Carlo Acutis died in 2006 of leukemia.
We dedicated the oratory to St. Carlo Acutis, the millennial saint, the first millennial saint ever. And the reason, because he was 15 years old when he passed away, he's relatable to the students in our school. And what the saints teach us is that they are imitable, that life can be lived to its fullest degree, that Christ can be lived in us and through us.
Middle school students prayed the Hail Mary in Italian with Bishop Byrne. In Westfield, I'm Carolee McGrath.
And finally, family pets, dogs and cats alike, came to church last Sunday for the annual blessing of the animals. At Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Parish in Westfield, each of the pets was also blessed with a first-class relic of St. Francis of Assisi.
Welcome everyone to this blessing of our pets in the spirit of St. Francis of Assisi.
Father Dan Pekalik and Deacon Paul Federici greeted the dogs and cats and their owners on the front lawn of Our Lady of the Blessed Sacrament Church last Sunday.
St. Francis, patron of all creation, watch over our pets, keep them healthy and safe, and may we always enjoy their company in this life and look forward to their presence one day in the new creation of heaven.
Visiting each of the pets individually, Deacon Federici sprinkled holy water and Father Pacolic blessed the animals with a first-class relic of St. Francis of Assisi. Among them was Oliver, earnestly watching Father Pacolic.
Something just happened.
While some are excited to go to church, many of the pets come every year for this special blessing on the feast of St. Francis of Assisi. You can read more on these and other stories at iobserve.org, where you can find articles from our Catholic communication staff, as well as on-demand episodes of Real to Real. That's iobserve.org. I'm Dan Dumas, and those were your Real to Real news briefs.
Here are a few events coming up in the Diocese of Springfield. The annual White Mass for all those in the medical profession will be celebrated by Springfield Bishop William Byrne this coming Saturday, October 18th, the feast of St. Luke the Physician and Evangelist. The Mass will be at 4 p.m. at St. Michael's Cathedral in Springfield. This Mass is an opportunity to pray for all those in the healing profession and to honor them for their service to all people in the Diocese of Springfield. Next Sunday, October 19th at 2 p.m., all are invited to gather with the Sisters of St. Joseph at Sacred Heart Church, 395 Chestnut Street in Springfield, for a Mass in celebration of their 375th anniversary, celebrating their history and presence in our church. A reception will follow in the churchyard, and all are welcome. And in 2 weeks, on Saturday, October 25th, join St. Michael's Cathedral for their Jubilee Year Polish Day. A bilingual Mass will begin at 11 a.m., celebrated by Bishop Byrne. This Mass will be honoring Our Lady of Czestochowa and Pope St. John Paul II. The homilist will be Father Mikhail Trzaskowski, pastor of St. Stanislaus Church in New York City. Following the Mass, Polish food provided by Bernat's Polish Deli will be served in the Bishop Marshall Center, donated by the Polish National Credit Union. Special blessings will be given by Bishop Byrne, and the Jubilee Indulgence will be granted. To learn more about events here in the Diocese of Springfield, check out our calendar page at diospringfield.org. In a remote village in southeastern Nigeria, where the roads are impassable and electricity isn't dependable, an internet connection to the New York Public Library or the British Library in London just opened the windows to the world for orphans there. Kathy Harrington brings us a progress report on the Divine Mercy International Widows and Orphans organization founded by a Northampton priest.
This ministry has brought me such joy, such fulfillment, and such gratitude.
5,000 miles from his parish in Northampton, the ministry started by Father Kingsley E. Hajerika has transformed the village of Obiki, Nigeria. Begun as a ministry supporting widows and their children, the Divine Mercy International Widows and Orphans organization now includes a hospital, 3 orphanages, a preschool, primary school, and secondary school.
The capacity of this new facility is 580, but right now we have about 210. And the reason why we are not able to accommodate more people is that they need sponsorship to be able to be there. So for every child to be there sponsored fully for an entire year, it's at least $1,000 for 1 full year. But they receive medical care, they receive education, and they receive like regular home care as if they were in their own families.
Medical missions over the years drew thousands of people seeking health care.
When we started this, we set up our tents in what seemed like an open air kind of environment, like almost like a field, okay, a football field.
From those missions came the dream to open a clinic.
We have 230 beds at this hospital, and it has many functional units now. The pharmacy is fully functional. with a pharmacist 24 hours there. The laboratory is also fully functional. We have a lab scientist and a lab technician, and the theater is fully functional.
Now OBK, with a population of 25,000 and the residents of more than 24 surrounding communities, have access to health care 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We have 2 resident doctors. We have a pharmacist who is resident. We have a lab scientist who is there. We have 4 registered nurses and auxiliary nurses and other non-medical staff there.
Poor roads in the region make it impossible to commute from the city to work in OBK. Hiring professionals to work in the hospital and school means providing housing on the campus, where electricity is available 24 hours a day. There is clean water and internet.
The village is not equipped. There are no homes that people, from the city can live. Most of the people who live there live in squalor. So the only comfortable accommodation they can have is within the complex of this hospital and the school.
Hiring teachers from around the country is opening up amazing opportunities for the students.
They brought a teacher from the Federal University of Technology in Owerri to come and teach them how to do online research. So they can navigate the internet, they can research online, including international libraries. All of this is happening in one of the remotest villages in the world.
2 graduates of the school are now attending universities. Their education's sponsored by the Divine Mercy International. After university, Father Kingsley says they will return to OBK to give back to the community. In Northampton, I'm Kathy Harrington for Reel to Reel.
The next mission trip is coming up in January. For more information, contact the St. Elizabeth Ann Seton Parish Office at 413-584-7310. Finally today, St. Stanislaus Basilica Parish in Chicopee recently resurrected an exhibit that was once a regular fixture in the parish for many years. As a result, the artistic talents of many parishioners were on display in the church for all to admire. Steve Kiltonick attended the opening night of the show and has this report.
For 5 days at the end of September, the lower level of St. Stanislaus Basilica was transformed into a colorful art gallery. Parishioners old and young displayed their paintings, drawings, and photos on the theme, The Inspiration of God in Our Lives. Julie LaRue, one of the parish organizers, said the art exhibit was selected as one of the 2025 Jubilee Year of Hope events.
It was inspired with the idea that let's take what is best in our community. And our music is beautiful, but the other thing that's really important is the art. Our students do it, our adults do it, and I wanted to show that we translate what we believe in Jesus Christ and God into our own artwork.
LaRue said the Basilica's rich historical heritage is reflected in the many murals, stained glass, and elaborate architecture inside the church, and the art exhibit is an extension of that heritage.
It doesn't matter how good, how bad you think your artwork is, whatever it is, it's inspired by God and you can do it.
Mary Robleski, a retired art teacher, said St. Stan's last art exhibit was 8 to 10 years ago.
I was impressed that we thought we would have about 30 artworks and we had 76 about in both parishioners that have passed away, parishioners that are here now. We had youth represented.
There were no restrictions on the art medium. Pastels, watercolors, pen and ink, acrylic, oils, and photography were all represented at the exhibit, which was sponsored by the Polish Cultural Center. Genevieve Steck is a retired professional artist.
When I came to this country, I couldn't speak English, so my passion was art because I could create. And then when I went to college, I learned that I really have a gift to paint people.
One of Steck's acrylic paintings is of Father John Koziel, St. Stan's parochial vicar.
I wanted to paint Father Brett next, and he says people would not like that because they would be scared. So I asked him what he would like, and he says Mother Saint Teresa. So that's why I painted it for him.
Steck also submitted a painting with various word translations of hello, as well as a stork.
Storks are famous in Poland, and they travel from Poland in the summertime to Egypt for the winter every year.
Father Kozel is an artist in his own right, as evidenced by his own stork drawing. Roma Wilk has displayed her artwork at galleries for decades.
I have a love of drawing faces, so that's been a challenge. I love challenges, so I drew the angel from my heart. I reference photos. I'm a photographer too.
Wilk was inspired to draw Father Lucian Kolakowski and wanted to present it to him on his 100th birthday.
Unfortunately, he was so tired that I didn't give it to him, so I'm trying to figure out a home for that.
Wilk also loves nature and created this cardinal in acrylic.
I love seeing other people come together with the same ideas. All the talents come together.
Alexandra Fettis, an 8th grader at St. Stanislaus School, has been taking photos since she was 8.
Animals they're like creations of God, so that really inspired me since I really love animals. And whenever we travel all over the place, I like to take pictures of flowers, lots of animals, birds.
Fettis spoke about her photos.
It's a spotted cucumber beetle on a pink flower, and I just saw it when we were at the museum. We were near a garden, and I saw a few bees that I decided to take pictures of.
2 paintings were done by a 103-year-old parishioner who recently passed, Loretta Skaza. One of her paintings is a self-portrait. Gifted artist and parishioner Jan Peters had some of her drawings displayed.
She has been such a valuable asset to our parish for so many years. She's here with us, not only in spirit, if she can't be in presence.
Laura Rivers had several collages of her photos taken over the years.
One of my collages here is of my children. I love taking pictures when they're looking away, so it's more natural. We love nature, so I have my other collages, different animals, wild animals we've seen on different vacations that we've been on.
Roboski created a series of owls in pastel, acrylic, and watercolor while rehabbing from an injured arm.
My mom took me to the Big E when I was about 10, 11 years old, and she bought me a statue with a mother owl and a baby owl. So the first one I did of the pastel, I did it in memory of her.
LaRue explained the inspiration for the painting she presented.
I ended up going to Plum Island and saw this lighthouse, and to me it inspired my feelings about where I want to be directed. So whenever I'm out there praying, I look at the lighthouse and say, okay, let me have the light that I need. The cross is a symbol of the fact that Jesus sacrificed on the cross for us. He is the ultimate sacrifice.
LaRue explained the symbolism behind her Christmas card and tree.
The angel on top of it was an angel that my husband bought me on our first wedding anniversary, and it was the angel to put on our Christmas tree. And the cardinal is symbolic of the fact that I lost my brother, and he's still with us.
Over 200 people attended the 5-day showing.
We thought it was a phenomenal turnout and just the creativity from God.
It's hoped that this art revival becomes an annual event. The parish is seeking grants that will apply to art classes for youth, adults, and families to create art together. For Real to Real, I'm Steve Kiltonic.
LaRue said that if you missed the recent event, an even bigger St. Stan's art exhibit will take place next March in the Chicopee Library, and it will showcase more children's artwork from the school. And that's our program for today. Thank you so much for joining us. For all of the latest news of the Catholic Church, both here in Western Massachusetts and around the world, you can find that at iobserve.org. We are also at Facebook. Follow us there at Catholic Communications. I'll see you at this same time again next week for another edition of Real to Real, your window on the world around you. See you then.
Real to Real is a production of the Catholic Communications Corporation, funded in part by the annual Catholic Appeal, and the support of you, our faithful viewers.